What if I told you that one of Europe's most advanced nations, home to poets, philosophers, and scientists, collapsed not from bombs or invasions, but from its own money? That a printing press, not a gun, helped create one of history's darkest chapters? This is the story of how Germany's hyperinflation didn't just wreck an economy, it paved the way for Adolf Hitler. In 1918, Germany lost World War I, the Kaiser fled, and in the chaos, a new democracy was born, the Weimar Republic. But it was born into a storm. The Treaty of Versailles demanded impossible reparations, while Germany's industries lay in ruins. The new government was drowning in debts, surrounded by jobless veterans and political extremists. But even before the war ended, the real poison had started to spread. Germany had abandoned the gold standard and printed billions to fund the war. By 1920, money was already losing its value, first slowly, then with frightening speed. The state kept the presses running, trying to cover its massive deficits and pay the reparations. But the more marks they printed, the less each one was worth. As prices rose, confidence plummeted, and soon, faith in the currency itself began to die. The breaking point came in 1923. After Germany missed a reparation payment, France and Belgium occupied the Ruhr, its industrial heartland. The German government, furious but powerless, called for passive resistance, promising to pay the wages of striking workers. The problem? It had no money. So it did the only thing it could: print more. And more, and more. Factories ground to a halt, goods vanished from shelves, but the freshly printed wages kept flowing. The result was a catastrophic, mind-bending spiral. A loaf of bread that cost 160 marks in 1922 now cost 200 billion marks just a year later. People literally carried their cash in wheelbarrows and laundry baskets. Children used stacks of worthless banknotes as building blocks. In the blink of an eye, the entire middle class, the savers, the pensioners, the professionals, was wiped out. Their life savings, built over generations, were now nothing more than worthless paper. Barter replaced money. Society began to break down. Rage and despair spread like wildfire. When money dies, trust dies with it. For many Germans, democracy became a joke. The politicians in Berlin seemed weak and incompetent. Parties fought endlessly, and chaos ruled the streets. Into this vacuum stepped extremists from both the left and the right, communists and nationalists, each offering their own simple, brutal solutions to the complex crisis. The Nazi Party, still small and on the fringe at the time, was watching and learning a vital lesson. Chaos opens the door to power. Ordinary people, once proud of their culture and their hard-earned savings, now craved one thing above all else: order, any order. They had lost all faith that democracy could provide the stability they so desperately needed. By late 1923, the numbers became astronomical. One single US dollar was worth 4.2 trillion German marks. The government finally had to act. They stopped the madness, scrapped the old, worthless mark, and introduced a new currency, the Rentenmark, which was backed not by gold, but by the country's land and industry. Miraculously, it worked. Within weeks, the hyperinflation stopped. The economy stabilized. But the social and political damage was catastrophic and irreversible. Germany had a stable currency again, but its people had no faith left in their leaders or their democratic system. They had been broken, traumatized, and were now ready to believe in anyone who promised strength, order, and a return to national pride. The trauma of the hyperinflation years lingered long after the crisis ended. It taught Germans to fear economic chaos more than almost anything else. So when the Great Depression hit the world in 1929 and jobs vanished all over again, those old, deep-seated fears came roaring back. This time, Adolf Hitler's message found a desperate and receptive audience. He promised control. He promised jobs. He promised to restore German pride and to seek revenge against those he blamed for the nation as suffering. And this time, millions of Germans, haunted by the memory of their worthless money and shattered lives, listened. Weimar's currency may have recovered in 1924, but its democracy never truly did. You might think a story like this is a relic of the past, something that could never happen again, but history echoes. Look around the world today, from Venezuela to Zimbabwe, from Turkey to Argentina. Printing money remains a tempting, short-term fix for governments in crisis. And each time it's tried, the outcome is devastatingly similar. Inflation doesn't just destroy wealth. It destroys trust. When people stop believing in their currency, they quickly stop believing in their system of government. And that is precisely when authoritarians see their opportunity to step in. Inflation, in the end, isn't just about rising prices. It's about power. So what are the key lessons we can take from the ashes of the Weimar Republic? First, that money is fundamentally an instrument of trust. Once that trust is broken, no government policy can quickly or easily repair it. Second, economic despair is a far more powerful fuel for extremism than any propaganda. A person who has lost everything is a person willing to listen to anything. And third, simply stabilizing prices isn't enough. A society must also rebuild its faith in the democratic institutions that are supposed to protect them. The story of Weimar Germany is a chilling reminder that inflation isn't just an economic issue. It is a political warning sign. It teaches us that democracy cannot survive without stability and accountability from its leaders. And it proves that trying to print your way out of trouble may buy you a little time, but it can end up selling your entire future. If you found this story powerful, please like and share this video, so more people can understand the true cost of destroying a nation's money. Because while history may not repeat itself exactly, it often rhymes. And the next collapse could begin not with a bang, but with the quiet hum of a printing press. Thank you for watching.